Troy Sage.
And I'm Andrew Smith, and we're going to talk short sales.
We are going to talk short sales. A new subject here in the land of Oz.
A new subject, absolutely. Short sales is a new subject for us, isn't it?
For some, yeah.
For some. But today we're going to get into requests for repairs. One thing that we've noticed in a lot of the files that are coming across is that requests for repairs are starting to appear on short sale transactions quite a lot, which is not something we saw in 4, 5, 6, 7 months ago.
Right.
So we're now getting into a situation whereby the listing has gone out there and it's basically said, look, the seller's in a hardship situation. In most cases it's a financial hardship. They're having to sell the home. They're not making mortgage payments. They have either unemployed or they've lost employment, reduced income. They don't have money. So the short sale is listed as is. But right before the contingency period, we're suddenly start to see buyer's agents say, well, we're going to ask for repairs anyway. And in many cases, they're cosmetic. They're nothing to do with anything else. They're just cosmetic repairs. So the question is, how do you handle that? And what do you think the mentality behind the buyer's agent is in making a request for repairs on the short sale?
Well, that's really a loaded question, because I
a
have a lot of answers for that.
Which is why I put it to you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I look at it like this, is that not every agent is created equal. Okay, there's some agents out there that are full-time, 110% into the business, understand short sales, work their business, they're in business. And then we have other agents that, it's part-time for them. And some of the agents, whether they're full-time or part-time, don't understand the phrase as is.
Right.
That's number one. Number two, what happens is sometimes there are these little tiny cosmetic repairs, like, oh, we want the carpet cleaned, or we want this little tiny hole in the master bedroom patched. The way I handle it personally is that I contact the agent and say, listen, this home is being sold as is. This isn't going to be something that anyone can actually take care of. But if we get into situations where hypothetically there's a major problem, some of these homes are vacant, and there's been some damage to the property that was not there when it was listed, or maybe there was something unbeknownst to anyone that happens. Maybe an air conditioner is not working because it's been sitting for 5 to 6 months. In that case, the way that we're handling it is, if it's something major, we'll actually go back to the loss mitigator at the bank and let them know that unfortunately this is a major issue here, and would you please ask the investor to consider having this repaired, or possibly give a credit back to the buyer.
Right. I mean, that's another way, and kind of leading into that, the other issue that you might encounter is if they're the buyer's lender through the appraisal, maybe it's an FHA loan or a VA loan, and there could be lender-required repairs that come up as a part of that appraisal. So again, even though it's an as-is transaction, and we're highly recommending and advising any buyer's agents out there not to submit requests for repairs for cosmetic items, to understand the as-is nature of the sale, we do realize that there could be lender-required repairs, and those can be handled in a couple of different ways. One, you just mentioned, depending upon the seller's situation, you're going to have to go back to the bank, you're going to have to contact your negotiator, who's going to have to go back to the investor and see if they're willing to participate in those repairs. The second alternative, there's actually three, now that you think about it. The buyer could actually just pay for them.
Right, the buyer could pay for it, or if it's something that the seller can afford to do, the seller can actually pay for it. To circumvent a lot of these requests for repairs, I know we have identical addendums. We actually have an addendum that we send out when the offer is being accepted by both parties. It basically states this home is being sold as is.
Right.
There will be no request for repairs incorporated into the purchase of this particular property.
Exactly.
So I'm going to go back and say something kind of rude about the agents, but if they know how to flip and read, and they can read that back to their buyer to say, you're buying this as is, it's going to slow some of these requests for repairs down. Not to say that every agent can't read, but the other thing, and I understand that they've got buyers that are like, well, I don't care, it's a short sale, and I want to put this request in. That's great. Remember this, it's a request. It's not a demand for repairs. It's simply a request. Would you please fix this?
And again, the common issue comes back here. It's an agent educating their seller or educating their buyer. Yeah. In this particular case, there could be a situation where you as the agent are going to have an uncomfortable conversation with your buyer. You're going to have to explain the terms of the sale. You're going to have to explain what it means. And you can't always just accommodate every single request that they have of you. You know, they're already in. You know, they're measuring for furniture. They're committed to the house. They're back, they're forth. They want this. They want that. Now all of a sudden it's like, you know, the kitchen faucet's dripping. We're not going to go through with this unless you get a new kitchen faucet.
Right.
It's like, you know, come on. You know, you got to let them know, hey, you know what? You're going to be able to pick out your own kitchen faucet once we get this through and done.
Exactly. I think we covered that pretty well.
I think that's all we got on it.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments, please find us on Facebook or hit our website at www.s2neg.com. We absolutely encourage any comments, criticisms, and any ideas. If you're having problems or questions on short sales, shoot us an email or post on our Facebook. We'll be happy to video for you.
Love to do it. See you next time.